Preseason All-American Noah Martin.
What's it been like, having a new defensive coordinator come in?
It's been for me, every year, just about we've had like a new, defensive coordinator, new defense kind of coming and, things like that. So each year it's always a challenge, like to, switch your mind from one defense to the next. But, I really like Coach B. I really like the defense that we have in. I think, like, it's been said already, it's going to be a very more of an attacking defense. So, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, there's challenges that come with it just from, learning a new defense and everything like that, with it being my last year, but they do a great job of teaching it. The coaches, most of the coaching staff that was here with the previous, coordinator, they're back. So same coaching style with them, so have some familiarity with that. But yeah, I mean, it's a good scheme. It's simple and it's not at the same time, but it makes it a little bit easier to kind of, I guess, grasp it.
With that being said, going into tomorrow, what's a couple expectations for the defense specifically with the new scheme and to be able to, I guess, finally see it at full speed?
Right. I mean, he was like, we had him in the spring and stuff like that. So we've seen him in the spring, but obviously we didn't have all the pieces that we have now. So I think tomorrow it's just going to be, who's going to fly around to the ball. I want to say that, I don't know what calls he's going to give us tomorrow. I assume that he'll probably just want to see who's going to run to the ball, who's going to hit, who's going to be physical. That's always a big part of it. And then too, just execution-wise, who's going to be able to line up, get the call, and do what they're supposed to do. So I think tomorrow is just going to be, who can do their job, who can't, and just who's going to fly around to the ball. That's always a big question. So who wants to hit,
You have some guys on this defense that have played a lot of ball, but do you still feel like as guys look to you as kind of like the leader of this defense, and have you made it a point to be more, maybe vocal, maybe you weren't before, but to be more vocal and kind of guys looking up to you?
Yeah, and obviously, like, very blessed, and it's nothing that I've done. It's God-given, and, I'm a child of God, and he's the only reason that I'm in this position that I'm in right now. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, and I say that in all sincerity, and so, like, with that, I've been blessed with some opportunities this season, some preseason stuff, which I say, it means very little. It all comes down to what happens in the season, but it's still a great honor, and I'm very thankful to have that. But I do think it obviously it puts a little bit of a spotlight on me, and I kind of wish I just highlight the team, but all thanks to that. But I do think it kind of puts me a little bit under a microscope or like a spotlight that guys do look to me in that, and I'm willing to take that challenge, and with God's help, I want to be able to lead my teammates and guide them in the right direction. But we have a lot of guys that are willing to work and put their head down and do what they're supposed to do their job, and are committed to the process of what it takes to become a great defense and become a great team. So it makes it easy. My job is not hard, to do that. We have a lot of great guys that are willing to buy in and really focus on the challenge ahead and just take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, as we work to building a championship team.
And then for you on the field, are there any things you're looking to improve on from last year to this year?
Yeah, I mean, just I guess everything, just try to be a better all-around player. I want to be a better leader, when it's easy to be a leader when things are going good. It's harder when there's adversity, and it's football. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be games where we can't get a stop, and it's like, hey, we got to it's now or never. So just being more in that leadership role for sure. Just kind of throughout the season, just really focusing on that.
Coach Hatcher likes to run a very high-tempo offense. As a defender, do you think that's really helped push the defense to its limits and prepare you guys heading into the year?
Definitely. It's easy to kind of practice when we're going against scouts, stuff like that, to kind of get the call, take your time, process it. But when it's going fast, and they can go very fast, you have to be very quick about processing the call, communicating, getting lined up very quickly. And so for us, having that in practice every day, it really helps slow down the game when we go against other teams who maybe don't run as fast of a tempo. But then in situations where a team is tempoing us, it's something that we're used to, and it's not uncommon. So I think it really does help. It helps us communicate faster, helps us get lined up faster, and really helps us make sure that we know the defense and know it at a fast pace.
That opportunity to go in the swamp, what is that like for you guys as a defensive challenge, and what are you telling your guys as one of the veterans?
Yeah, it's kind of like what we said. We're focused on one day at a time, so I'm just focused on the scrimmage tomorrow. We got to jog through this afternoon, so just kind of taking it one day at a time. Obviously, it's Florida. It's an SEC team. It's always exciting. I was here when we played them 3 years ago, and that was like an awesome opportunity, to be there. But for me, it's just another football game. When I first got here, it was like, really exciting and stuff like that, and being on the field. But once you get on the field, like, yeah, I mean, they're probably a little bit bigger, stuff like that. But it's still a football game, and I still want to win it just the same. But yeah, I mean, just, kind of staying focused on, okay, let's, get our defense down. Let's get our depth figured out. Let's get our, like, what's our identity going to be as a defense? And then, take it one step at a time, looking to the West Georgia game, because Coach Hatcher's saying is you got to go, you can't win or you can't go undefeated unless you win, whatever game that week. So it's every week's a goal to go 1-0.
When you talk about the tempo that you practice with against these guys, in game time when they're going so quick and they're off the field pretty quick a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to go back on the field, is that an adjustment that you have to learn over the I mean, I'm sure you've adjusted to it now, but I mean, is it something you have to learn defensively that you're probably going to be out there pretty quick when you're playing tempo?
Yeah, it's I think the biggest thing for us is just depth, in those situations, just having a deep defense, because, we know, like, either they're going to score really quick or sometimes it's a quick 3 and out, but our mentality is it doesn't matter what happens, out there. Like, we want to go out there as a defense and dominate, from start to finish. So if we have to play, 50 snaps, if we have to play 100 snaps, it doesn't matter. We want that same intensity every game. But, in order to keep people fresh, obviously, like, having depth is important. And I think that's a big thing that I've kind of seen change through the years, is just a big focus on, okay, making sure that there's not a drop-off between, like, 1s, 2s, and 3s, but that everyone, everyone's ready to play their job and do their job when their number's called, So just having that kind of mentality as we go in the defense, as we go out and take the field.
I think we're good.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Noah.
Thanks, Noah.